How did you become
Sure.
an entrepreneur?
To be honest, I'm blessed that way. It's a third generation entrepreneur. My father, my grandfather, in fact, my great grandfather, he was also into business. Being a typical Gujarati businessman, they say business is in our blood. But I've been blessed in terms of the startup or tech part. In 1983, my father started IT business, IT hardware business. And he was one of the earliest person in India to start selling computers.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the podcast today. Today, the guest is a powerhouse in the Indian startup ecosystem, a third generation entrepreneur and a tech evangelist, Chinmay Shah. With over 2 decades of experience in global IT distribution, Apple ecosystem, and enterprise technology, Chinmay has not only built and scaled his own ventures, but also has mentored and curated 22 startups across EdTech, FinTech, and Deep Tech. He managed partnerships with 250 plus MNC brands, led digital transformation programs, advised family offices, and even taught at universities. Known for his strategic acumen in build, operate, lease, transfer model, and super app development, Chinmay brings a unique blend of product execution, investor insight, and big picture tech thinking. He is also the CEO of Startup Steroid India and just launched ReadyScore, a tool for founders to check how ready they are for the investors. Let's dive into the conversation that equally parts into tactical, futuristic, and founder first. The title of today's podcast is Tech Meets Execution Startup Lessons from Chinmay Shah. Chinmay Bhai, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for such a lovely introduction and honored to be here.
So let's start with the second part of the introduction where I said you are the CEO of Startup India and the Ready Score.
Correct.
Tell us a little about this platform. What does it do and how it can help startup founders?
Yes. So ReadyScore Startup Steroids is a platform. It's a deal flows platform as well. It's a demo day which we use for incubators, accelerators, as well as family offices. So being in the same ecosystem, we are a catalyst between startups and investors. So ReadyScore is a plugin and it's an add-on thing for that. What we do to reduce our own effort, what we try to do through ReadyScore, whichever startups gives a pitch, we give them the entire score, a report kind of thing, wherein we can help them what level are they. It could be 1 to 10, it could be smile, it could be brownie points, it could be anything, whatever people say. But purpose is it a investable ready startup or not? If yes,
Great.
then go ahead. If no, they need room for improvement. That is what entire the ready score is about.
Sure. So in a sense, it is that before reaching to the investor, run your ready score so that you will get to know how good are you going to be in front of the investor, and is the investor really going to look at your application or not? Because hey,
Definitely. That
I do two
that's
pitching
perfect.
event every month, and we get over 100 applications every month. Out of
Wow.
that, 10 companies are pitching. So obviously, 90 companies did not make the cut. That
True.
doesn't mean that they are bad companies. It is just that they didn't strike us enough that we give them
Correct.
a mic time in our monthly
Correct.
pitching event. So Ready Score will fit that gap that, how ready you are to be in front of the investors.
Exactly, sir. You nailed it. And to be honest, it is a need of an hour. With this entire startup ecosystem growing rapidly, everybody has a great idea. And for that, they need to put it into words. They need to put it into specific beans which an investor can understand it quickly.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So
Thank you
it's
for
in
clarifying
our
that.
layman language, what we call first impression is last impression. That is what
Yes.
Ready Score helps about.
Tell us, let's start with your early journey. How did you become
Sure.
an entrepreneur?
To be honest, sir, I'm blessed that way. It's a third generation entrepreneur. My father, my grandfather, in fact, my great grandfather also, he was also into business. Being a typical Gujarati businessman, they say business is in our blood. But I've been blessed in terms of the startup or tech part. In 1983, my father started IT business, IT hardware business. And he was one of the earliest person in India to start selling computers. We used to import home computers from Texas Instrument, from US Houston, and sell it in India. So
Right.
brands kept on changing. Started with Texas Instrument, then in 1989 he was the first to introduce Hewlett Packard (HP) in India.
Mhm.
So when I joined in late 90s, if I'm not wrong, 96, 97, uh, it was an era of assemble computers in India, unbranded, what we call. And that time, my father was very strict in a way that we are looking for only branded computers. So, either
Mhm.
sell HP or something. But HP by now, in span of 8, 10 years, there was a competition, Compaq, Digital, IBM. So those days, I applied for Apple dealership, distributionship. And probably by
Mhm.
98, no looking back, we are one of the largest Apple solutions expert in our region, sir.
How did that switch happen? Because you are an entrepreneur, you have established company, you have employees on your payroll. Now
True.
from there coming and looking into startup founders, what was the attraction? Why did you start doing that?
So there was one selfish motto which even Apple taught. There was an era of mobility. From laptops, desktops, things started to moving to iPad. First iPhone in 2007, then iPads in 2010. So purpose was for me, startup was a project. So there was a bank in UAE who was looking for a core banking solution. And that was my first trigger point. So imagine a bank in Dubai, Apple left. I wanted to sell large numbers of iPad, and they require an application, what we call software. So we got
Right.
it done through some third party guy because I have zero knowledge of software, to be honest. We are typical trading house. Uh, we buy and sell devices. So, but to be honest, that was not a very, very smooth transition. Neither the client was happy, neither I was happy, neither the developer was happy.
Uh-huh.
So after a couple of such instances, which we've closed down, managed everything, but then I started getting into the products. I said, if I am taking the entire ownership of developing through someone, why don't I get involved wholeheartedly? Let the developer develop, but it should be under my observation. So those days,
Mhm.
there was no word such as mentoring, curation, everything. I was doing my job only. And gradually, to sell iPads more or iPhones more, we made products for pharma, education, and banking sector.
I
And
see.
that largely started getting fund. We said it's where you require X amount. Somebody said this is a great idea. Why don't we give you money? Let's build together. I said, no, we don't need partnership. We don't need funds. But as the business was growing rapidly, started helping them. Parallelly, because our Apple ecosystem in education, we were helping most of universities in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. That
Right.
include IIM, that include Ahmedabad University, Ganpat University. So those had incubator centers, which was
Mhm.
a startup. And Anshumanji, you might remember in 2015, there was a word Stand Up India and Startup India.
Yeah.
Now Stand Up India no more exists, but there were two entities, two uh, what we can say policies by government.
Mhm.
And I was part of Gujarat Chamber of Commerce, something like a Chamber of Commerce, what is in the US. I headed a startup incubation center in Chamber of Commerce. So that is how I gradually entered into the entire ecosystem of startups. And
Great.
today I'm proud to say, by now I have curated about 22 legitimate startups, wherein it is in same range. Out of those, we have shut down also two of them. Uh, Rest 18 are sustainable. They are doing reasonably well. And two of them, we have got very good exit as well. So we
Mhm.
have seen the entire cycle from scratch to unicorn.
Great. So yeah, you are a visiting lecturer also, and then you travel across the world, including India. You go and talk to so many incubator, accelerator, and universities, and talk to the startup founders there. As a visiting lecturer and startup advisor, what is your biggest piece of advice to the student or the first time founders? What do you ask them to do?
So most of them students are little lost. Everybody wants to get rich quick. Their purpose to build a startup is nothing that they want to innovate anything or something. Their purpose is that because and to be honest, it's a very vulnerable age, sir. 20 years, 18 to 22, 21, and everybody wants to get rich quick. They come from small town, they come from big town, urban, rural. It's a mixed match. So my most of them are only looking for jobs. Their first concern is get will I get a good job once they plead to the placement team. So
Mhm.
my role is to help them to build a startup of their own. I try to motivate to make them good owners, good innovators, or good marketers. And whenever my piece of advice, to be honest, do it's something very, very need to build a product which actually needs people need. Don't build any software or app or hardware or software, whatever you're trying to build, just to for the sake of it. If it's a real problem solving product, then you ought to succeed. And I always give one example. So by now it's very cliche, but uh, there are two kind of medicines. One is vitamins and one is painkillers. So
Painkiller. Yeah.
I always tell students that build a painkiller, then and then make people everybody to make it use it. If it's a
Right.
vitamin, it's an optional thing. You take B12, it's good for you. If you don't take, nothing will happen. Nothing will go wrong.
Tell us a little bit more about STPI, the software technology parks. What
Definitely,
are
definitely.
their motives are and how they are achieving it and how you are part of it.
Yes, sir. So STPI, Software Technology Park of India, is one of the oldest startup or institute in India. It's based in Delhi, and they have pan India around 18 plus centers. What startup STPI does, sir, they initially were giving, they made something what is called SEZ, Special Economy Zone. Initially, they were
Yeah.
started with that. Any company who wanted to start a software company comes to STPI, they give a share of what we call is currently a co-working space. Those days, co-working space didn't exist. I'm talking about again 2000 or 2005 era. Uh, Internet was a challenge those days everywhere. Even India, of course, was affected. So government used to provide a dedicated lease line only to STPI or to corporates. So any IT company who wanted, of course, without internet, nothing works now. But those days, it was a luxury, and
Mhm.
STPI started with that. Coming to Krika now 2020, they are big time into incubating, into softwares, into startups. So they have probably one of the largest ecosystem when it comes to uh, in startups in India.
Uh-huh.
They distribute each and every uh, what we can say. Could it be a fintech? Could be food tech? Could be EdTech? They have mentors. They have curation. Everything in house. And most part is they give good grants. So on average, you'll be surprised on higher side, each of STPI branch in a quarter, they fund 1,000 startups. So, and it
Wow.
could be, so imagine they have ratio of around 3.5 to 4,000 pitches per month, per quarter. Out of that, 1,000 they have to fund. It could be
Wow.
as low as 4 lakh rupees and maximum is 25 lakh rupees.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that is what start. And my relation with them, so we are part of STPI as an advisory for when it comes to third party. They call us me as a jury. They call me as a speaker. That is how we are connected.
Very good. Thank you so much for sharing that information, Chinmay bhai. You
Thank you,
also
sir.
manage a family office and invest into ideas.
Yes.
What's your process when deciding to back a founder? Is the first piece part of the question. The second part is, do you think the ready score by Startup Steroid could be of help there when you are evaluating a company or a startup? for your family office investment.
Definitely, sir. In fact, to continue with STPI first, ReadyScore is one of the app product for STPI. Very soon we will be approaching them because, as I said, if they are getting 3,500 to 4,000 deck per quarter, it's a very, very manual process. So probably
Right.
next week we'll first thing we'll connect with them as well to start with. And yes, coming to my family office, I'm managing multiple family offices for large business houses in Gujarat and my own as well. Uh, First of all, I look in the founder, to be honest. Purpose is the product is has to be good. Second thing, is it investable? Is it disruptive? First thing is that. And if yes, uh, I do a great secondary research, sir. Any startups,
Mhm.
whatever we invest, we have to do a very long-term research. Just because I like it and the founder like it, it might sound wow, but we don't know whether it is a market-ready product.
Right.
Yeah, so that is where there is a deep analytics. We have team of business analysts. We have team of startup specialists who just review decks. And now with our tool, it would be a blessing. Will definitely make a lot of help and lot of sense to do our part of due diligence, to be honest.
Mhm.
How in India, have you heard of the CIBIL score? So
Yeah.
CIBIL score is a finance score wherein if my CIBIL score is 7, a faceless loan I can get by, 25 lakh, 5 lakh, 10 lakhs, whatever. If my score is less, it would be lesser
Mhm.
of fund. Similarly, ReadyScore, we are expecting a lot of it. We are counting a lot. It would be a great help for the entire ecosystem to use it.
Yeah, I think in the startup ecosystem and tier two, tier three cities, where the founders are spending a lot of time, effort, energy, and money in building their startup, and then they start reaching out to investors. I think,
True.
and even in tier one cities, I think the Ready Score could be the platform to run your application through to see does it really meet the expectation and requirements of an angel group here in the US
100%.
or in India or the family group, and just test it. So to me, when I'm listening more from you, it is like, get your blood test report done before you go and see the doctor, so that that interaction with the doctor is more meaningful because you have your blood test reports with you.
Correct.
So if the platform or the AI tool is telling you that you are really investable, then obviously the investor will also be interested in looking in deeper in your application. Is that so? Am I on the right
I,
track?
you have nailed it. That is exactly what we tell it. And it's like a blood, it's a report. It's like an MRI report. Your X-ray cannot find, it won't find a minute crack, but MRI can
Mhm.
find it. And that is exactly what is required. And Anshumanji, practically speaking, because of the buzz, the highest youth in India is population is youth. Everybody wants to get into a startup. Thanks to the sitcoms like Shark Tank and
Okay.
that now Shark Tank India has been a household name before probably few years. This looked like a jargon. What is pre-money? What is a pitch deck, what
Yeah.
is the ROI. Now everybody will be are using that term that they understand what is it. Or if not at depth, they will say, "Okay, acha, what's the valuation? How much ROI do you want? Are you expecting if I invest? What is equity?" So
Right.
credit goes to and my my from my experience, to be honest, to find the right startup is not an easy task. Because if I know I am born and brought up in a city like Ahmedabad, there is a larger chunk of people who knows me. I know them. They will reach out to me, and I have to fund only my merits. Just because he's my friend's brother or my relatives, I
Yeah.
cannot fund them. So through this, it is a two-way thing. They will also, it's a self-assessment tool. They will only
Mhm.
come to know are they good, bad, or ugly.
Right. Right.
So ReadyScore is an indeed a need of an hour. And
Mhm.
I bet it will be very, very well accepted, very widely used by everybody in the entire startup ecosystem.
Yeah, great. So you just mentioned Ahmedabad. Let's talk about the startup ecosystem and the startup traction that you see in Ahmedabad. How the accelerator and incubator and the government of Gujarat is helping startup founders, primarily in Ahmedabad and all over the state also.
Sure. So Gujarat startup ecosystem is very, very dynamic. We have probably by now only incubators or accelerators. There are around 6 to 8 only in my city, Ahmedabad, and probably 25 to 30 pan Gujarat. And all of them have been heavily funded. Each of them conservatively gives chance to at least 35 to 50 startups in a month. And there are places like iHub, there is IM Ventures, then there is GeoSec, there is Entrepreneur. So they have their specific roles and responsibilities. Now, for example, for healthcare, there is one. Specific for finance, there is one. I'll give
Mhm.
you a small example. For example, environment is a very niche market.
Yeah.
Environment, clean tech, what we call. So specific for ESG kind of applications, specific for climate tech, there is government gives certain grant to one of those incubators. That if you and somebody is only into education tech, then there is another incubator, something like that. And large ventures like IM Ahmedabad is one of the largest investment when it comes to capital. They do very, very diversified. They don't entertain anybody else except it's a deep tech and except
Mhm.
it's a space tech, except it is a quantum. They are not no more interested in finance or education or food kind of applications. So
Mhm.
we have right from smallest point of sales to a space tech experience.
Mhm.
And Gujarat government is very, very proactively because of our honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. He has made a point every quarterly. He has given very respectable IAS officers who are managing all of these incubators about the entire incubation system. And he
Right.
makes a point. Anybody, for example, I'll give you a small example. A city like state like Rajasthan, where farming is less. So they do events in Rajasthan and call startup students to come to Gujarat, and they are happy to give funds.
Right. Right.
They encourage it in some way or another. Each startup founder, they will only fund if of him or her the student is from Gujarat University. So purpose is
Right.
it's getting very verified. And last but not least, with this Gift City in Ahmedabad, which
Mhm.
is IFSC, and Gift is a tax haven. Most of companies pan India are having their offices in Gift City. So due to that, we have got good advantage of talent. We have good advantage of companies like Bank of America. On higher side, I'll ask you, sir, how many people will from Bank of America would be working in Gift City? A-
No.
Any wild
No.
guess? 5,000, sir. 3,000 to
Wow.
5,000 people are working in of Bank of America in Gift City.
Wow.
We and this is since last 7 years. It is not 1 year, 2 year. And
Mhm.
government helped them a lot. So government, usually this Gift City had a tenure of 10 years for tax free. But
Mhm.
specific for Bank of America, they gave 14 years. And they started with 1,200 people. Now currently there are almost 5,000 people.
I see. Okay. Okay. Wow.
Yes.
This is big. This is just
Yes.
big, and India, certainly, the state of Gujarat is doing
Yes.
phenomenal stuff. Gift City is one of them.
True.
I will also tell you that I'm meeting tomorrow. I have a meeting with the CIO of Haldiram's family office, and
Wow.
he
Very
is
nice.
here to raise. Yeah, his name is Prakash Iyer. His
Correct.
he is here to raise 500 crores for impact military tech fund. So,
Wow.
India Defense Fund, Haldiram Family Office is opening up with 500 crores to start with,
Imagine,
and
imagine.
he is here to present that fund to us. So,
Brilliant.
think of from the startup founder perspective, if you are doing anything in the military tech,
Sure,
drone technology, space tech, this is the
sure,
fund who is going to invest in you. Because I
definitely.
believe the current leadership has a mandate that India will be developing its own military tech and will be importing less and less in coming years. So this is a
Def-
great opportunity for startup founders from all the IITs, from all the IIMs, from tier two, tier three cities also. Anybody who has an idea and can execute. Because I always
Correct,
feel that ideas are dime a dozen, Chinmay bhai. It is
correct.
all about the execution and technology execution and all. Uh, so I will ask you one question.
Yes.
Tell me one tech trend that is overrated. Is that AI or what it is? A tech
Uh,
trend which is overrated.
so AI is there, but more than that, metaverse was overrated, is overrated.
Right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
AI people don't understand the power of AI. Currently, I always tell I have multiple startups. I always say it's a machine learning. When I show them this is a data entry automation or this is a data extraction tool, I said this is AI. I said no, no, please understand this is machine learning.
Hmm.
AI is one step ahead of it. We can only use it required. But yeah, metaverse was a hype and unfortunately didn't pick up. People had already started buying lands and virtual whatnot.
Hmm. Since you mentor companies in deep tech, space tech, and technology companies,
Yes, sir.
the first hire for a startup founder when they get some kind of funding is that should be in tech, sales, or ops.
Tech, sir. My love for soft corner for tech is very high. Unless and until the product is not good, operations and sales is secondary. And I always believe if the product is good, you don't require to push for sales.
Right,
Automatically, it will be a pull. And to be very
and
honest, sir, tech has a power.
right, and more so when you are building a painkiller rather than a vitamin.
Correct,
Then
correct.
marketing and ops and sales uh, is not needed that big. If the tech is good, it will sell for itself.
It will sell
Obviously,
for
the word
itself,
has
sir.
to be
Yeah.
out, but it will sell for itself. Yes.
Challenge is awareness. If it's well spread, people know that such software or such hardware such exist. People are ready to spend money.
Mhm.
Spending power in
Uh,
India has increased very drastically, sir.
right. I get, I'm pretty active on LinkedIn and I get a lot of connection requests as well as comments on my post
Sure,
about the government funding for startups. What would you
correct.
recommend? Can I ask those founders to be in touch with you because government grants are available, but they are hard to get? Do you know of any kind of a service, or do you provide those kind of services where you can help a startup founder identify the right grant and apply in the proper way so that all their documentation are in order and they are getting that fund because the government has allocated the fund, but the disbursement is slow because many startup founders don't even comply with all the requirements of those grants. What type of help you and your company can provide, Chinmay?
No, no, definitely. So that is what we do, and that's our motto. Purpose is the first part is bootstrap. They borrow from friends, family, what. Part two is incubation, which is grants. So I'm widely connected with most of reputed incubators in Ahmedabad or Gujarat, and we know where there are where there is an allocation, how they are exhausted, and which specific field. So definitely, please help me out to reach out
Sure.
all of your startups. And I'm following you on LinkedIn with your 35,000 plus followers. You have a great fan following.
The tools what you are introducing, ReadyScore, it will just help them in really identifying where the pitfall is and how to overcome those roadblocks and be invest ready to
Correct.
come and command, you know, investment from US investors. Because here in the US market, it is very structured that, you know,
True.
how
True.
things happen over here.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. That is there. That's it is all about structure. I got one very good feedback from an incubator whom I mentioned about ReadyScore. And
Right.
he said, this will be our homepage.
Okay. Okay.
So by
That is great.
default, yeah. So we'll ensure by default, each of our analysts will start with this. We will also see how well it is trained. And on that report, we will start working on it. I said, that is our aim.
Startup don't die from lack of ideas; they die from the lack of execution. This is
Very
what we
well
covered
said.
today. A
Very,
big thank
very
you,
well
Chinmay,
said. No,
for
no, thank you
bringing
for having
clarity and
me.
wisdom. Yeah, for bringing clarity, wisdom, and raw truths to the founder journey. Thanks for introducing ReadyScore. And to the audience, if you found value in today's episode, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your fellow founders who are building right now. That what all is available from the great city of Ahmedabad and state of Gujarat, as well as the ReadyScore, and if they would be interested in doing that. As always, keep pitching, keep fundraising, and keep scaling. That is very, very important for all the startup founders. So here, tech meets execution.